How you going, guys? I'm Aaron,
I'm Matt.
and today we're going to find out whether Matt is going to bend me over the table and do me doggy style with his Space Wolves. And
I wasn't thinking that actually. I was just gonna play Warhammer.
yeah, well, the other option is you can always catch a disease from my Nurgle.
Oh, actually, yeah, you are plagues. Yeah. Oh, crap.
So we got the Death Guard versus Space Wolves today. Let's see what happens. Alright, so Matt and I have rolled off, and we've got mission 5. Matt has also chosen to be the defender, so he's picked the table edge.
Yep.
We'll show you the table soon, but we're playing 2,000 points, and I'll read out the ransack. So the primary objectives are the usual for every single mission. You've got the objectives. You get 5 points if you hold 1, an extra 5 points if you hold 2, and then you get another 5 points if you hold more than your opponent. So this mission we've got 6 objectives. So we'll see how they go.
And they play stock standard as normal?
Yeah, we can't choose where they go.
Okay.
Yep. Then you've got the secondary objective, which is an optional. So when you pick your secondaries, you can pick an optional one, which is this one. So this one is called Ransack, and it is a progressive one. So you score a number of victory points at the end of your command phase if you control one or more of the objective markers that are within your opponent's territory, as shown in the table below. So
Show the table.
So I'll put a picture of it up afterwards. So you've got the.
So this is a really objective mission.
You don't have to do that. That's an optional one.
But
so you know how you pick your secondaries?
You could just
go pick that
bang,
one.
objectives is what I
Yeah,
wanted.
if you wanted to, yeah. So yeah, the player 1, they can have the 3 here by the look of it. No objective markers. Total territory.
No, it's just in there.
So there's your territories on the end there.
Yeah, but it's in their deployment zone, so it's in there.
So you only get the 1 in the deployment zone. But then these 2, so if you're player A, you'd have that in your deployment zone, and then these 2 here count as your territory, even though they're not your deployment zone. So you're here, player A's territory.
Yeah.
So if you control one of the, so if I'm player B and I'm holding that one, I'd then get 2 victory points at the end of my command phase. So basically, I have to get into your goals.
Any of these 3 you can get.
Yeah, if
And
I
they
take
help.
that
They
one.
count.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. To be honest, though, it does seem quite difficult because you're only getting the 2 extra points.
Yeah, well, we've got 2. Like you'll see in a moment, we've got 2 elite armies, and so there's not a lot of stuff out there. So the options there.
Yeah. So that's the mission there. So
Let's pick our secondaries.
So we'll pick our secondaries and we'll come back. So because I'm the attacker, I will be talking first about the Death Guard. Ba-boom! Alright, so here we have the Death Guard. So I'm running 2 patrols today, and I will run you through how each of these patrols operates. So for all the Death Guard fans out there, I'm running the Poxmongers today. So out of the Death Guard, you've got 7 plague companies. It's kind of like your sort of sub-faction type things. So the plague company I'm going with today is called the Poxmongers, and they kind of utilise demon engines and things like that. And these guys.
Okay. Alright.
So my warlord is this dude.
Who am I killing?
This guy, the one with the big bell on the base.
What is this size?
So he's actually armed with 2 malefic talons. And he has the Warlord trait Arch Contaminator. So for all the kids at home, the Arch Contaminator, it takes your plague weapons. Usually they have a reroll 1s to wound, and the Arch Contaminator gives a bubble of 7 inches, which allows plague weapons to reroll all failed wounds. So all failed wounds. So with the plague weapons, you've got these Plague Burst Mortars. You've got the Flamers.
So if he sits with them,
yeah. So he gives them a reroll wound bubble, basically.
so that they're not going to not wound.
Probably not. And then he gives a reroll 1 bubble to hit as well, because that's his thing. He actually also has a relic called the Iron Clot Furnace, and what that does is it allows another bubble of 7 inches for demon engines, and it basically takes them from a 5+ invulnerable save to a 4+ invulnerable save.
So you're saying these are going, Is he going to be near him?
He's going to be near all of them.
Harder to kill.
Yeah.
And they're more likely to kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, which is what I want to hear.
Oh,
so yeah.
I wonder what you were doing.
So he's also a psycho, and he's got the psychic power, the Blades of Putrefaction. Basically what that does is you cast it onto a unit, and then they get a +1 to wound in combat.
Oh god! In combat, that's
in combat, yeah. Okay. If they're also using a plague weapon as a melee weapon, if it rolls a 7+, so basically melee, potato, whatever. So yeah, if you're using a plague weapon in close combat, then that gets the +1 to wound, and if you roll a 6 with that, it also gives a mortal wound.
Okay.
Yep. So then
how many points is he?
He's 200.
Is that it?
Yeah.
And he does that?
He does all that for 200. Now we're on to his little buddy. So he's the other Demon Prince, and he's also armed with 2 Malefic Talons. But the Malefic Talons give you 3 extra attacks. So they come with 4 base, they get 3 more, and then when they charge, get another one. So they get 8 attacks on the charge at their strength of 7.
It's cool models. It's different to the other Demon Princes.
Yeah, they're actually converted. That's not my idea. That was Stewie's idea. So this dude's spent a CP. So I've spent an extra CP, so now down to 11. And he has used that CP to get a second Waller trait, which is called the Sanguinous Flux. And that actually gives another 7-inch aura bubble. And what that lets me do is when I use a melee weapon in close combat, melee, you get an additional -1 to the AP.
I think it's actually melee.
You get an extra -1 to the AP. But it does specifically say a melee weapon. So the guys that don't have any actual weapons for close combat, they actually don't get the benefit. So yeah. And his psychic power is Gift of Contagion. Which is basically, it's a D3, and on one of the D3 things that I roll, it nerfs you somehow. So either a negative.
What's the range on it though?
The range on that is 18 inches.
That's how, yeah. So I'm going to try and keep out of that.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand it properly, but.
So yeah, basically I cast the psychic power, and then I roll a D3, and on one of them it's -1 to your strength, and another's -1 to your toughness, and another's -1 to your attacks.
Okay, so my question to Aaron is.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of your 2 HQs?
They're more or less buffing units, and then when you get close to me, they can then kick your ass in combat as well. So they can be extremely good in close combat.
So you're not going to charge with them, you're going to hold them back, and then once these are gone, if they do go, they can hold their own.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they're basically staying in a little huddle with the rest of the army. Yeah, they just move around holding objectives and killing things.
Would you rank him? Like if you were to send him out on his own, straight at my army, would you?
Well, he's hitting on a 2+, and he's rerolling ones to hit.
But to get there and then do something, what would you? How would you?
He'd have no trouble destroying.
He has to come in contact first.
Oh, if I was to just go Zerg rush.
Yeah.
Out in the open here, you can pull a hole up alright. He's got a 5 of info and a.
How many weeks you got?
7, 8, 7 or 8.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
then he's got disgusting resilient.
He should get there.
Yeah, he should be able to get there. But yeah, he's more. I think of him more as like a counter punch. I'd probably be combat for them is maybe around the turn 3.
So he's a buffer for these.
Yep.
And then
if you're silly enough to get close, I'll come and kill you. Yeah. So they do 2 damage each as well. So in combat.
Okay.
So yeah, not too bad. And then for this patrol, we've got a squad of 10 Plague Marines just here. They're all armed with the normal bolt gun and plague sword, except 2 guys have the Mace of Contagion, I think it's called.
Does the plague sword give them anything extra?
The plague swords counts as the plague weapon, so it's the reroll 1s to wound, and then with that aura, they'll reroll all wounds. Yeah.
Only if they're within.
Yeah, the range. So yeah, the flail of corruption.
This guy's possibly going to go with them.
Yeah.
Or the other one.
Or they'll all just stay together.
Yep.
Alright, it's cool. So you got the 2 flails of corruption. The flails are kind of cool. I'll read to you the exact wording on it. It is a plague weapon, and it makes D3 hit rolls each time you attack with this weapon instead of only 1. And excess damage from this weapon is not lost. Instead, keep allocating damage to other models in the unit until either all damage has been allocated or target destroyed. So the flails, they do 2 damage each. So if you had 2 of your Thunderwolf cavalry, they have 3 wounds, I've done the first one does 2 damage, the second one does 2 damage. So it'll do the 2 first, the second one will wound you, and then that third one will then carry over.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
Can't
I've got
just flick it.
yeah. And then I've got 2 blight launches as well, which is 24 inches, Salt 2, Strength 6, Neg 2, and D3 damage. So that's a little bit of a ranged option for them as well. In that detachment in the elites, we've got this dude. He's a he's a Noxious Blightbringer, and he spent a CP to get a second relic. And what that relic does is it gives a 5+ invulnerable save to infantry. So he'll stick
All of them.
infantry. Yeah, so all the infantry guys will then get a 5+ invulnerable save from that dude. Marble aura.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, so he'll stick with the infantry to keep them alive.
And how does he get that? Like, does he pay for that? Or?
That's I spent a CP to get the relic.
But he could have got the relic.
I could give it to him, yeah, but I gave him the
So
relic.
that's a relic you guys have.
So yeah, that goes to not just this plague army. 5+ invo from the infantry. Pretty good. So he's
I'm
basic.
tempted to peg this across.
He's got a couple of other little things he can do. Like he gives you an aura which allows you to do 2d6 run and pick the highest instead of just a normal d6 run.
Any unit within
the advance, 7 inches, and then he's got another one that negates your leadership as well. So I'll talk about that if it comes into play. And then we've got the 3 Malefic Blight Haulers.
Yeah, I don't know these guys. I've never seen them before.
Yeah, they're pretty good. So I'll read the exact stat line for them. Where are they? So they have a weapon skill and bliss skill of 4+, strength 6, toughness 7, 8 wounds, 3 attacks, and leadership 8, and a 3+ save.
Is that like a melter gun?
That's a multi-melter. So they each come with a multi-melter, a missile launcher, a Gnashing Maw, which is melee, which is strength user, -2 AP, 1 damage. It's a plague weapon. And you've also got Bile Spurt, which is 12-inch, assault D3, strength 6, -1, and it's also a plague weapon.
How many attacks do they get with this mouth?
They get 3, but they also have the assault thing, so they get an extra 1 on the charge. So they actually operate as a unit. When they have a unit of 3 or more, they get +1 to hit, so they become Blizzard skill, Web skill 3+ essentially.
Hence why you got 3.
Hence why I got 3, yep. And then they also have a little 7-inch aura which affects infantry and gives them a cover save at all times.
You and your bloody auras.
Yeah, these guys love the auras. And then in the heavy support, we've got a pair of Plague Verse Crawlers. They've each got the these guys.
Oh, this is different.
So that's the different. That's the other patrol because I can only get 2 heavy support in the patrol. So they've each got the what's it called? The Heavy Sluggers, which is a heavy 4-gun. It's basically a heavy bolter.
Yep.
They've got the flamer things on the side called a Plague Spitter. It's a 9-inch range.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's heavy D6, automatically hits, and it's strength user. So their strength does degrade as they get wounded.
So hang on, that'd be these 2 because that gun looks different to these.
Yeah, but that's just modelled like that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's the heavy slugger. So it's it's heavy 4, strength 5, -1.
Okay.
Cool.
And what's the main gun?
That's the plague one. That's strength 8, -2, D3 damage.
Is that like a Vindicator? Sort
Heavy
of thing?
D6. Yeah, except it's indirect. Shoots indirect.
So you don't have to see the target.
No. Okay. So that's the first patrol. The second patrol is led by a Malignant Plaguecaster. He's the Psyker. He's kind of like a sorcerer type dude. The difference is he's Nurgle, so he's got all the Nurgle stuff. So he's got the toughness 5, the disgusting resilient, which gives him the 5 film of pain.
It's good model.
He's a special model actually. He's like they had like a Japan series that had like little special characters that come out, and he's one of them. There's a couple of the guys in the Plague Marine units. I've got a few of them actually scattered around.
You've done well.
I just need to get finished painted, but
you got a few highlights to do, but
yeah,
it's a good model.
It's an awesome model. When I get the fire looking real good, he'll be cool. So he's got the psychic ability. So he'll because he's infantry, he actually benefits from the 5 invo from this dude if he's within range.
Oh, I don't want to know.
He's got 2 psychic powers. He's got Miasma of Pestilence, which I cast on one of my units, and it gets -1 to be hit. And the other one is Perturbed Vitality, I think it's pronounced. Basically, I cast that on one of my units as well, and it gets +1 to strength, +1 to toughness. So it makes them a bit more punchy in combat, a bit
Oh,
harder to kill.
you're already resilient.
Yeah, plus just, you put cut some plague marines, they become strength 5, toughness 6.
This is like, this is not good.
So this has got a 5-man squad of plague marines, this unit. They're just armed with bolters.
That's these guys?
That's them guys, yep.
Okay.
So just bolters, a plague sword, so they can just chill out objective, raise banners, whatever they want to do. And then we've got 2 foul blight spawns. Now these are the guys that you're going to hate the most, funny enough.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what they were.
So what they do, they what's that?
Like a...
They have an aura and they have a flamer. I'll read you the stats of the flamer.
What's the range on it?
It's 9 inches.
Oh, that's alright.
It's assault 6.
Are they characters?
They're characters.
Oh.
Assault 6, strength 2d6, AP neg 3, damage 3. This weapon automatically hits its target. Roll to determine strength of this weapon after selecting a
So they're
target.
dangerous.
But before determining how many shots are fired. So they have 3 damage. Now there is a strat where I can put on them
2d6 shots.
1d6 shots, 2d6 damage. Strength, sorry, 2d6 strength, 3 damage.
So they could have, in theory, they could have 6 shots at 12 with 3 damage
3
on
damage,
each.
neg 3, AP. Yep.
How many points are they?
They're 85.
Each.
Yeah, but they have an aura too, I'll talk about in a sec, which is quite horrible for you. So these guys,
They're characters.
they're characters, and that they have a strat they can use, which gives them 2d6 on their assault, they pick the highest, and then they have 3d6 strength and they pick the 2 highest. So that can then make them a little bit more dangerous. But their aura, and this is the main reason I take them, it's called Revolting Stench. Enemy units that charge this turn and are within 7 inches of this model at the start of the fight phase are struck by stench so foul, they falter, losing their Imperatus. Such a unit does not get to fight this fight phase.
At all.
Does not get to fight first in this fight phase, but can be chosen to fight like other units that did not charge. This ability also affects units who have abilities that would enable them to fight first if they had charged.
Yeah.
So
I have to use a command point to try and get someone to fight first.
What's really interesting though now is with 9th edition, after you've done all your units that strike first, your opponent then picks the first unit. So then you charge me, these guys say, no, you can't count as charging. So then I then choose my first unit and I can kill someone, and then you can intercept after that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you charge me within 7 inches of one of them guys, I get to basically attack you before you get to attack
What's
me.
their save?
They're a 3+.
And their toughness?
Toughness 5, 4 wounds each. When they die, they explode too.
D3? Have to be D3, wouldn't it?
Oh no, sorry, they don't explode. The other guys explode. The other grenade guys explode. Never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not big enough to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a grenade guy that blows up from a 4+. I should also mention too that my army has Deaths of the False Emperor, so that's what all Chaos get. I don't know if you know much about that. So I'll read that out. Each time you hit roll of a 6+ for this model in the fight phase, it can, if it was targeting an Imperium unit, immediately make an extra attack against the same unit. Using the same weapon, these extra attacks cannot themselves generate any further attacks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then finally, in that detachment, we've got another Plague Burst Crawler.
This one?
That one.
Oh.
And then we've got the Defiler. Now, I actually got that Defiler back in the early 2000s. It was the very first model I ever magnetised. I actually broke apart a speaker and broke the magnets up to magnetise it, and they're still working. And I recently just repainted him and added some nerdly bits on him.
Yeah, it used to be like black and...
Yeah, it was Iron Warriors colours.
Ooh.
Yeah, so... And this actual thing here was still on the sprue unmade, and I've actually made it up because it's actually really cool now. So that little weapon thing is called a...
What is this thing on the front? Is that like a las cannon?
I'll read it all out. This is all of his weapons. So that's a battle cannon, so it's exactly the same as the Imperial Guard Leman Russ tank cannon.
What is that? Strength 8,
So,
neg 3?
Strength 8, neg 2, D3 damage.
Okay, that's all right.
It counts as a blast weapon as well, so if I'm shooting squads of 5, 6 to 10, it's 3 auto shots minimum. And if there's 11 or more guys, it's 6 shots straight away.
Oh,
It's got a Reaper auto cannon. It's that's that there. Yeah, strength 7, neg 1, only 1 damage though. Not the 2 damage like the Imperium versions.
They are good magnets.
Yeah, I know. That's a washer on that.
Yeah,
I actually
that's
that was my conversion I did way back in the day. That's not bad because it's been on there for like 18 years.
really cool.
Yep. So that there,
I'm quite impressed by that.
and his torso comes off too because you remember when they used to blow up and die?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to do that so he can just go whoa, yee-hoo, ride 'em cowboy, yeehaw.
Okay, settle there.
Sorry, getting a bit too overwhelmed there.
I do like that. That's smooth. Like my ones, like I have to drill and put the magnets in, and then
Yeah.
put the arms on.
But
that
Keep in mind too that,
Look-
that's a magnet I smashed and broke, so it's like a cracked section of a speaker magnet.
yeah, I know, but
I'm
that's
just surprised it's still working after all that time and it
That's so smooth.
hasn't lost any kind of pull. And anyways, the last weapon it's got two actual weapons left. So the thing there that with the little spiky tendril things on it, that's called a Defiler Scourge. It's a melee weapon. It's +4 to strength, -2, and 3 damage. And each time 3 damage, flat 3 damage. And each time the bear fights, it can make 3 additional attacks with it. So it's 4 attacks base, and then they degrade on the charge, get an extra. So you can do 8 attacks at strength 12 with that one. And the other one is the Defiler Claws, which are a melee weapon. It's ×2 strength, -3 d6 damage. So if I charge, I could do 5 attacks with that, then 3 with the other, or I could just do all 8 with the little thing. Yep. So yeah, cool. So that's it. And I've actually spent CP on this dude to give him Disgusting Resilient. So
Does that give him an imbo and regen?
Disgusting Resilient is a Feel No Pain. Now, because the Defile's not actually a Nurgle model, he doesn't come with it. So I could spend 2 CP to give him that. Models in the army that have less, I think it's 11 wounds, can pay 1 CP. If it's more than that, they have to pay 2. So he's got 14 wounds. So I've spent a lot of CP in this list. So because the second patrol cost me points, and
So
then
you've already
relics
spent your
and that.
CP.
So I'm down to 6 to start with. But the way it's set up, I don't really need to use a lot because all the auras and stuff kind of work together.
Yeah,
synergize.
these auras bothered me.
Yeah, so it's going to be a nice little hulking kind of brutish unit that's painted up the colour of the Hulk, and they just go around and just try not to die. So let's see how we go.
Yeah, it looks good. Actually,
Yeah,
I know you haven't finished painting it, but it actually.
it's starting to get it's presentable to a degree now at least.
I
I've
don't
got a
know,
lot of
man.
little details to do,
Yeah, you do, but
but getting there.
I like it.
I like how the pink on the demon bits on them have popped out.
I'm not sure.
And the little nurglings and
What to
pink.
shoot?
Yeah, so I mean you can't shoot these guys unless you can target characters.
Well, I think they're close to the model. I'll shoot them.
Actually, funny enough, before I forget, I'm just going to read you one of the Death Guard stratagems. This is from the old book.
Does it count?
It does. This is probably the stratagem I'll use the most.
If it doesn't count, please text in.
Absolutely. This is definitely counts. This is like the most competitive stratagem they have.
Right.
For 1 command point, Cloud of Flies, for those of you who don't know. Use this stratagem during the movement phase. Select a Death Guard infantry unit. Until the start of your next movement phase, enemy models can only shoot this unit if it was the closest visible target.
And
So I can stick that on a bunch of Plague Marines sitting on an objective, and if I've got stuff between them and you can't shoot them.
it doesn't bother me.
Okay, cool. So I'll just stick the 5 points. Just ching, ching, ching.
I don't understand.
Yeah, so you can only target them if they're the closest unit to you. So if I've got the Plagueless Crawler between you and a squad of Plague Marines, and you want to target them and I've got Cloud of Flies on, you can't actually shoot them.
Good news. Just destroy whatever you got in front of it, and then
Yeah.
I'll shoot them.
Yeah, if you can get through it. So yeah, so you got the toughness 8 wall of tanks and toughness 7 and 8, all with the 4 up invo, 3 up save, and then you've got the 5 up disgusting resilient, and so yeah, and then the Poxwalkers, they've got 2 special stratagems now too. So one of them means they can spend 1 CP, and a vehicle can leave combat and then still shoot. And the other one is I can actually spend 1 CP and I can generate T3 wounds back onto a Poxwalker's vehicle.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my list. Let's see if they can hold up.
That's a lot of information for such a small army, but
Yeah, you kind of needed to present it all.
it's a very elite army.
It's a very elite army, and this army kind of revolves around helping itself. Like all the little elements need to kind of work together and go across the board. Like each individual thing by itself isn't that fantastic, but when you have a couple of little things all together, it just starts stacking up all the modifiers. You know, and like the Plague Marines have lots of little stratagems in the new book that give them all these extra bits in combat and things. So yeah, lots of little things stacking to become one super punchy force.
Yeah, for me personally, nothing's scary,
Until you start stacking other bits with it.
but nothing's going to die, and I won't be able to kill it, and then it will become scary because the guns on those are great. They're not too bad. If these get close, they'll hurt me. He's so-so. But it's not about that. It's about the objectives.
Those objectives. You've got to kill me off them.
I don't know.
And if you've got to come to me to kill me off close combat, I'll just have the
Yeah.
aura to stop you from
I
attacking
really don't.
first.
It'd
So,
be interesting to see how it pans out.
so yeah, it's just I've got to play it patiently, which is hard for me. So
Same for me though.
yeah, true.
I lose my mind.
So
Kill me!
well, we better go over to your list, I suppose.
Alright, next.
Okay, we're back with Matt's list, and before we quickly go into it, I forgot to tell you about my secondary, so I was too busy talking about all the
This is
silly little bits and
interesting.
pieces. So I'm going to go with what is it called? First Strike from No Mercy, No Respite. Scored 5 victory points at the end of the battle if any enemy units were destroyed in the first battle round, and 3 additional points if more enemy units than friendly units were destroyed in the first battle round. I think I can definitely kill something of his first turn with all my strength 8 and
Which one's that
guns. First Strike, that's in No Mercy, No Respite.
Yeah, you get 5 points for that.
5 points and then 3 if I've killed more than you first turn, so 8 points.
So you can't get the
Maximum.
415.
No,
Why wouldn't you go for something that gives you the 415?
because you're not always going to get the full 15 anyway. So.
Alright.
So I'd rather go for something that's 5 points I can definitely get and maybe possibly 8, as opposed to 15 that's a maybe. So and then we got Battlefield Supremacy. I'm actually going to go with Engage on All Fronts. 2 victory points if you have hold the center. 3 out of the 4 quarters, I think it is. And then you get 3 victory points if they're not within the 6 inches of the center. So I'm going to be away from the center, sort of spread out, running at least 3 table quarters, and I'll get 4 points. 3 points at the
And
end
your,
of the
your
turn.
stuff's pretty resilient. So.
Yeah. Yep. And the third one is Shadow Operations, Raise the Banners. So I'm going to jump on objectives, put banners up, and then just get points from them, hopefully. With 6 objectives in the game, we should be able to get them pretty good.
Alright.
Yep. So.
Okay, well I'll start with my secondary straight up.
Yep.
Before I actually show you my list. I'm going to do Attrition, believe it or not.
Okay.
Like his army's hard to kill, but I want a goal. So score 4 victory points at the end of the battle round if more enemy units than your friendly units will destroy this battle round. So I'm going to. I really want to have a go at you. I want to be aggressive. I'm going to do Line Breaker.
Cool.
I think I'm faster than you with a couple of my units. So I want to get past him, and I get 4 victory points at the end of my turn if 2 or more, and I've got 2 fast units, and I've got a flying unit, and I've also got a unit that can deep strike. So, okay. I think that's an objective for me, and the other one is Abhor the Bitch.
So you're going after my Psykers.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be raising any banners.
No, that's the thing. I think everybody plays Raise the Banners because they think they can do it. And I want to play it differently. My list is not how I want it yet. I mean, I'm still in the building phase. So
with Raise the Banners too, they've got to be infantry, and my unit doesn't have a whole lot of infantry. But my little characters can, because they're infantry. So my little flamer guys can just be like throwing up banners.
yeah, once I build the stuff that's in the boot of my car that I picked up today because they had a release today, I'd like to show that. I don't know if we're allowed to, but
We can do an box opening if you want.
Anyway, we can. There's 2 boxes there.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do Raise the Banners because everyone does that all the time because it seems to be the one that everyone wants and it gets points really quickly.
Yep.
So I want to see what these guys can do. So that's my thing. Attrition, Line Breaker, and Abhor the Witch.
Yeah. So with that one, you get the 5 victory points for each psychic character. So if you kill my 2 princes and my Malignant Playcaster, you get the full 15.
And realistically, for me to win, I need to kill them.
They're the ones that are going to be buffing the most. And those 3 guys
I'll either win
popping the guys up.
well, or I'll lose badly.
So if you're going to play aggressive, well,
I sort of have
fun.
to. Yeah. Okay.
it's fun to see what happens.
Now this is my list. I've got 2. It's patrol.
Yeah, 2 patrols you took.
So I've got my leaders. These 2. One's on a Thunderwolf with the relic. It's Black Death. this is a nude guy. So he's just there for the reroll of ones. Storm Shield, Black Death, which gives him buffs in Assault. Then I got one troop in each one. Intercessors, they're not mine, they're Aaron's. I'm borrowing them for the day. And they've got the Stalker bolt rifle.
You still a bolt rifle, and
they're the heavy ones.
Auxiliary grenade launcher as well.
I didn't realise that after first round you have to change from heavy to
Assault. It's heavy to tactical.
Tactical. I was hoping to stay in heavy forever because I've got a lot of heavy here. So I might have to remodel some stuff. Anyway, so
you need to have a little bit of a balance, and the way with Marines, you play them now, you sort of got to stack yourself to go through. And Space Wolves are designed for the Assault Doctrine. Yeah. So really, turn 3 onwards is where the Space Wolves come to their own, and turn 1 and 2 is just kind of about thinning things down.
In putting that down, I've heavy support in both squads. I've got 2 long fangs with las cannons, stock standard, nice and cheap. Hell blasters with the heavy plasma incinerators, I think they're called.
Heavy,
36, they're fine. The tank, because I like to paint the tank up. I haven't glued him onto the base yet.
He's looking good, but he's getting there.
He'll be there soon, but he's got the battle cannon thingy, whatever it is. It's like strength 9 or 10.
Destroyer or something.
Yeah, it's It's like the big brother to the las cannon is how they refer to it. Got the Gatling thing. I put everything else I could possibly
put. Arms to the teeth of the guns and stuff.
Not used to having models because I used to run Dark Eldar. I'm not used to running models that actually have wounds that allow it to survive more than one turn. I've got these guys which are in curses. Is that right?
I think they're called curses.
Yeah,
something like that.
So they can drop down. I put the plasma exterminators on them. I like the idea of that. And if I want to soup them up, become quite strong. They become strength 8 with 2 damage. But if I roll any ones,
they're dead.
They're out of here.
Yep.
This guy, as I said before, he's nude. He's going to be in the back line, just giving the reroll to ones. I don't know my stratagems very well. I've read them. There's some really cool ones in there for everybody, not just for Spaceballs. Please give comments about what I should have done at certain stages in the game.
Likewise, so I did play Chaos a lot, probably 20 years ago, but I have taken quite a bit of a break. But I'm getting into it again, and I'm quite enjoying it. And I think the thing with Chaos I'm actually enjoying the most is the converting and the modelling.
Yeah, well,
that's something
that's the same with this. So you can see these guys look different to these guys, and obviously they're not mine. I've bought a whole bunch of kits, and I'm going to do them up. So I'm just starting out again. So anyone who's just starting out and just trying to get into the game,
the Primaris are cool.
Yeah, I do like the models, but I just like how the lines on them, and eventually I'm going to model the whole army to be the same.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Gives you a nice fun project too.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying the modelling side of it. So that's why my army is what it is. It's not quite what I want it to be, but I really just want to play the game.
Yep.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah. Play the game, get some more experience.
Yeah.
And as well, it's going to be hard because you're kind of relearning how to play Marines, but you're also trying to relearn a 9th edition. Yeah. So you got like the two things together.
I don't mind.
It makes it.
It's perfect. I get to model and I get to play.
Yeah. Game on.
Can't argue with that.
Absolutely.
All
right. So we'll go over the table, and then I think we'll go into the game, mate.
All right.
So I did promise you I was going to get the snow table ready. The terrain I was building actually kind of failed a bit. I was building.
Why?
I was building some mountains that had like snow on the top of them. And
this looks good.
But the snow hadn't set properly, so I have to sort of coat it. And some of them they just don't look how I want them. But I will be getting them sorted out as soon as I can.
Do you use bicarb?
No, actually it's proper modelling snow, but I didn't glue it properly. So
I might show you how to do it.
Yeah. The thing with bicarb that I don't like is it goes yellow.
That's bicarb.
Yeah. It just fell off.
Yeah, no, I didn't glue it on, but that's bicarb. That's 4 years.
Yeah.
That's not yellow.
I used to have it on my garden, remember? They used to have the bicarb.
Not yellow.
No, it's snow.
Not yellow.
Yeah, I was just worried it would look like pea after a couple of weeks.
That's not yellow. It's 4 years. I don't know what you did to my models when I had them with
the wolf peat on the ground.
But look at them. They're all white.
They look good.
That's 4 years.
Yeah, true. I'll play around with it though. I'll get it looking good.
4 years. Now that you made me take that off.
Look at that.
That's because it was your place.
Yeah. I know. I think with the bicarb, I think if you seal it right, it should be pretty.
No sealing.
Yeah.
Just
What did you use? PVA or
PVA glue.
Yeah.
Yep. Bicarb.
Okay.
It's white.
It is. It's nice.
And then I don't know what you did with this one.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
I shouldn't have left it at your place.
Well, it's a bad idea, but they're at your place now, so they got no excuses.
I'll just redo it and
Just
it'll be white.
paint it. Just get some white scars paint on it.
No. Why is that yellow? What did you do to it?
I don't know. Bicarb does that.
None of my other models are yellow.
Is that for him a little bit?
Yeah, but
Him a little
these
bit.
must have been close to him when you
Maybe.
did whatever you did.
Maybe. All right. Well, let's get into this game. All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
I can't believe it's yellow.
Okay, guys. This is the table. We're playing on the Winter Wonderland today. So we'll go down here, take a look at some of the objectives. So we've got the two that kind of just cruise around on the edges there. And back over into the middle, we've got the ones that are just inside our deployment zones. You can see where the dice are lined up. Over there, we've got the other one. Back over here, we've got the one near the building. And then we've got the one underneath here. So yeah, that's our table. So we'll go over to deploying in the actual deployments in the next video. But that is it. You ready to roll?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good luck. Didn't actually show our faces. Hang on. Good luck.
Yeah, truly.